investors, consumers, prospects that they want to reach. And our firm helps companies do just that by tailoring that story, putting together something that's going to be very newsworthy and getting that company and its owners the kind of attention that they want to have and profile building they want to have within their industry and within the larger business community. So it's certainly something well worth considering as part of a marketing program for your firm.
Thank you very much, Carol. Our next panelist is Carissa Reininger, founder and president of Silver Lining Limited.
Thank you. I think that the challenge that small businesses face as they think about marketing is that most small businesses face both a capacity and a cash flow problem. So in a small business where you have limited resources, limited people, it's very hard to execute a marketing campaign that is intensive and full and robust and that covers all of the things that we would all like to say are relevant and interesting for marketing. The other issue is that we have cash flow problems. As small business owners, we don't have millions of dollars to invest in marketing. So what small businesses need to think about as they think about their marketing is how to be concise and goal-oriented about what their goal is and how they're going to reach that. So we always say that I think there's 3 important things to think about as you think about marketing your business. The first is to define a goal. Define a goal that is measurable, that is also reasonable but aggressive, that will keep you motivated to be working hard and talking to as many people as you can and getting out there with your product and with your business. But if you haven't set a goal that you're trying to reach, then marketing just becomes scattered and almost like a drop in the bucket. So if you have not identified the goal that you're trying to attain as a small business, you can't figure out the right marketing strategies to use. So the first step I really think for a small business is set your goal. The second step, I think, is to define a target market. A lot of small businesses spend a lot of money trying to be something to everyone. And as a small business, we don't have capacity or cash flow to be everything to everyone. So instead, what we need to figure out as small business owners is who is it that are going to be the best people to buy our product, and then talk to that group specifically and directly and repeatedly. So if a small business becomes very good at understanding what they have to offer and who to offer it to, it can really help identify what marketing strategies to use to get to them. And then I think the third step is defining an action plan. It becomes very important as a small business owner to be very strategic about every step in the approach that they have to getting to their end goal and talking to the right target market in order to get to their end goal. So a small business owner can't afford to buy big advertising. So what can we do as small business owners to generate the buzz and the profile and the direct connections that we need in order to build our businesses? We think that there's 8 ways to do that. Branding and identity, having a brand that is strong, clear, and concise, so that anyone who interacts with your brand automatically knows that they're the customer for you. Media, definitely using public relations and media to try and gain free coverage about what you're doing to try and drive your awareness up. Using events, trying to think about where your target market is and going to find them through the events that they will already be at. Referral programs, your best customers, your best clients, the people in your network who already believe in you, are also your marketing billboards. We can't afford a billboard on the Gardner Expressway, but we can certainly afford to activate the people who already believe in us. So figuring out how to develop referral programs that are genuine and real. Loyalty, once you've built a customer base, why would you go out and have to find new customers all the time? If you can figure out ways to keep the customers that you have happy and healthy, you can continue to generate business out of them. Sales, sometimes there's a place for incentive-based sales. Connections, there's a huge art to understanding who it is out there that you need to know and going and strategically finding those people and developing relationships with them. And online marketing, absolutely. I think that online marketing, things like YouTube and Facebook and viral marketing opens up the playing field for small business. But if you don't have a clear goal, you can't get to where you need to go. If you haven't defined your target market, we can't be everything to everyone, so it needs to be clear and concise. And then we need to identify the right strategies that are cost effective and I guess with the capacity issue that we have, easy to execute so that we're talking to our target market over and over and over again to get to our goal.
Thank you, Carissa. Do any of the panelists have any follow-up, or we can go to the first question? No? There is a question, and we'll start with the webcast, and if there's anyone from the audience, just put up your hand, and Tara will bring the mic to you. And the panelists, you don't have to move the mics. They're sensitive, and they'll be adjusted by the audio person. There's a question here from Hamilton, Ontario, and the question was, what's the difference between a public relations company and an advertising company and strategy? I could start maybe with Aldo and then go to Carol, and Aldo, if you would.
Certainly.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a clear, actually, in effect, we're not in the PR business because it's completely different than what we do. The communication side covers off areas like direct mail, general advertising, sales promotions, events, and that even events will cross over sometimes into the PR side. The complete difference is that we tend to push out a message and they work with media to get the same message out there. I guess that would be a simpler way of putting that. More importantly is that they work best together. And I think that's a better way of looking at this. It is when they work together that my message, whatever the message is, helped by the underpinnings that she does with general media, works best for any campaign. So,
Okay.
do you want to
Cheryl?
I would totally agree that it really is about the synergy, particularly with the advertising side and the public relations side. I always think there's nothing more impactful than you open the newspaper, you might see an ad for a new product, but then a few pages later or across the page, you might see a story written by a reporter that talks about the new product and what it should mean or the impact it will have on the readers of that publication. So that's when the two are working very well together, and they should have a focused strategy that is also aligned, and that's really the best way to get the most impact for your marketing dollars.
Can I add to that? The other side of the PR side, which agencies can help with, but advertising agencies, take Maple Leaf Foods and the problems they've had recently. There must have been a huge PR effort behind the key messaging that they wanted to get out there. I think at the end of the day, it's what campaign happens next by the ad agency, which will follow up on what the PR strategy was, that will help them come back to life as an organization again. Because they're a good organization, they've just been tainted a bit, and it's our job to correct that. So there are multiple purposes on the PR side as well. So.
Any follow? I might as well go to the next one. This one's from St. John's, Newfoundland. Just to follow up to that then, what is the cost involved to start something with either an advertising agency such as Kandari or a PR firm such as Conan Wolf? And I'll go Aldo, and then we'll go to Carol.
Millions of
Millions?
dollars.
We just had a few turnoffs on that webcast.
In actual fact, we have clients that we work with obviously in the millions of dollars, and we have clients that spend as little as $50,000 a year with us. The key for us as an agency is how willing is that client actually to listen to our advice. So a lot of times we can do a lot with $50,000, but it just entrepreneurs are a different breed of individual. So when you're working with them, you have to really understand, are they going to follow what we're going to do as experts? And if they are going to follow it, will they follow through on their end of the bargain, which is deliver that product or services the way we said we were going to deliver it. But an agency has a certain formula on how they make money, and as long as there's that collaboration, we will work with almost anybody with almost any limited amount of budget. So I mean, $50,000 for a year is very minimal, but our interactive group would probably help them do just things like search engine optimization, which is really when someone Googles you, what happens? Do you show up first or do you show up last on the list, or do you not show up at all? Just little things like that will get your attention out there, and most people Google companies these days. So that's how you can utilize those dollars. But again, it's willingness of the participants to work together as a team versus here's 50,000, make a miracle happen. That's not the way it works with us.
And Carol?
Public relations, I mentioned earlier, can be a very cost-effective means of getting your story out there. And we work with clients anywhere from project work that might be about $25,000 and, again, up to the millions. It really depends on the firm and what they're trying to accomplish. But the reason we call it cost-effective is if you look at what does it cost to buy a 60-second commercial on TV? What does it cost to buy a full-page ad in the Globe and Mail, for example? And comparing that to what an editorial story might be on the evening news or an article in the newspaper, we don't have the same frequency as advertising does, but we gain on the credibility side because it's a third party, the media, telling your story. So all of these things are factors that come into play. And it's really about, in working with a public relations agency such as ours, having the appetite for investing in communications of this nature, because you don't want to go out there just once and have one story. You want to have some longevity to your